Yo, what's going on, guys? This is EXO. Welcome back to another video, and today I want to talk about a new feature that we actually got in the 11.2 update. I believe it was 11.2. I'll correct myself if I was wrong. But so I'll go into the news real quick. If you haven't like dug a little bit into what we got with 11.2, it's right here. So we got adjustments to co-op's character selection, which is what I want to talk about in this video. Obviously, change the pack screen adjustment to add viewing function, the strategy topic added, change the load screens, which I'm actually kind of salty about. If you were an OG, or even like if you were just playing like yesterday, and like in the character preview windows, like when you're loading a screen, right, they would have like new characters, and they'd have like the stats and whatnot, and those like a pentagon, right, I believe is what it would be. It was just like a 5-pointed object, right, and it had all the different, stamina, focus, SP, attack, and defense, and they got rid of that. So I'm a little salty about that, because that's like kind of like just a very like nostalgic like key part of like stat. It really meant nothing, but like anyways, enough of that rant. And they fixed some things, blah blah. So I know it was kind of like the top thing of this like notice, but I really like haven't seen anyone talk about this co-op deck, and I want to like put some emphasis on it because KLab did a really good job with it. I don't know like how hard this was for them to make, but this is a super good feature, and I'm glad they did this. Even though, like, I mean, there's not a whole lot to do in co-op, but that's a whole another like discussion. But this is a very good quality of life change that I hope incentivizes them to like kind of do more with co-op potentially. But we'll see. So anyways, obviously, like, I've got this soy phone here, and in the past you click this button and it brings up just that character's menu, right? Well, now, and it still does that, right? It still does that, but you got these options now. You see all the different attributes, and you see I have them selected in mind right now, so I can click speed, and we've moved over to speed. So that's pretty cool, right? You can set up a character per each attributes, and I've got all my soy phones on the front row, right? So I mean, very nice and intuitive feature already. Like, I mean, something that could have come a lot sooner, but something I also hope that they implement into into epic grades as well, because this would be super useful, as opposed to having to click previous build every single time you're switching attributes. But I mean, this is like a good step in the right direction. But also, you'll notice that at the bottom there is a button, edit co-op deck. And you're like, what the heck's a deck, right? Well, boom. These are decks. So basically, like, a deck is just a setup of a character, and you get 5 decks. So basically, you can have 25. Yeah, I can count to 5. Yeah, 25 different characters set up. Granted, you have the accessories and the links, but you can have 25 different characters fully set up. And this is like in epic raids and guild quest. It doesn't like, it's just in co-op where like the accessories and the links are like counted as being used. So you can still like have I could still have like this Aizen like being used in just like a regular team in the regular game, right? So super useful stuff here. So you can, obviously you can't have the same accessories linked to different characters in the same deck, but I'm pretty sure. So if I go ahead and look, I have an Aizen linked here. If I go into a different deck, well, okay, so I kind of phrased it weirdly earlier. So it's not you have 5 separate decks. I would say I would consider these, even though they call these the decks, I would honestly say that the attributes are the decks, and then these are like your cards in the deck. I mean, if they're gonna use like a deck analogy, then like you might as well call these cards. So you can have 5 different cards in a deck. Okay, so we'll go with that. So what I am curious about is if I go ahead and I'll leave that link slot unit for now. Let's say I want to set up BASB, okay, and let's say I'm like 3 days into the game, right, and I'm like, all right, so Power Aizen as a link sounds good. So I'm gonna go ahead and click that. Can I do that? It doesn't look like, is it? Okay. So that's interesting. In another, okay. So it's all self-contained. It's not individual to the decks themselves, but it is self-contained within the co-op experience itself. So I guess there's that. It would be kind of cool to see individual decks, but I can see like the limitations that would bring. But something you might have noticed also that I think is very cool is that you can rename the cards. I'm trying to like get them myself to use that anthology. So I've named all of the first sets Soy Phone, obviously, and then the second one I've set to link slot units, and thus there was nothing on the second card in speed. And then on some of them, like power, I have a flex unit for the third card. So like for heart, you know, I have Soy Phone, then I have Rukia, and I don't have another heart flex unit because that would just be Soy Phone. My heart units are kind of slacking, not gonna lie. She's my only purple heart character. But yeah, I mean, it's honestly like I'm just very like overall impressed with like how they've implemented this. Like I said earlier, like obviously the debate on how like useful this is in co-op, because you know nowadays co-op is just like the only cards I'm going to utilize in these decks is the link slot unit cards, right? So like in a sense, like a lot of this was like above and beyond what anyone's ever going to use this feature for, but at the same time it's really nice to see that they did something like this, and hopefully they implement, if like, I mean, it's probably not going to happen like for like a while, but hopefully they'd implement this in other places. Like ever since they implemented the individual building in Epic Raids, they've slowly transitioned that to Guild Quest, and then now finally to co-op. So hopefully this this menu system moves over to other places in the game. I would be very happy to see that. Mainly Epic Raid I think would be the most useful place. I wouldn't really see this being very useful in co-op in Guild Quest, other than maybe like having like different killer and like, but that sounds like a lot of work. So like just getting that all, making that KLab's end, and then like setting that up like for the user end. So I don't know if that'd be super useful, but at least moving this over to not extreme co-op, Epic Raids would be super helpful. I think that'd be super cool to see. So I mean, yeah, let me know what you guys think. I don't really have much else to say about this. I thought I'd just bring attention to like how this works. It's super cool. Like the only like thing that I wish would be changed about it was just, you know, being able to like repeat use accessories, but I can see how like, you know, why that isn't the case, just because limitations of like the way they build this system probably. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you have utilized like building up teams or whatnot, like I have. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're not already. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.